Hey, another AutoDrill video. Look at that. So here's a ER16 head. It's a 4-spindle head. The collet size on this one's actually a 3mm or a 3 32nd collet in here. So this is actually doing some pretty small holes. It's kind of a cool head. So here are the features of this. We custom built this for a customer. This customer happens to be in Australia, and they're putting this head onto the face of a motor. And so you can see it's got a C-face motor here, or something very similar to a C-face motor, right? See the drive tang in there, the female drive tang. Here's the male drive tang. This is going on a 71-face motor. Now, US folks don't know what a 71-face motor is in most cases, but in Australia, that's one of the standards. And so we can make a head specifically for you anywhere in the world to do what you need to do. This head, of course, is spinning 1-to-1 ratio from the input, same direction to perform whatever the process is. But now here's the interesting thing. There's going to be a giant motor on the back of this head. The head's going to be lined up, the motor drive's going to be driving this, it's going to be providing the spin. But what do? How do you mount this thing? So the motor's going to have a base on it maybe, right? And this thing's going to be out front going wobble, wobble, wobble. No, you can't do that with a little teeny drill bit. So here's what we've done, and we'll do this to any head. We put through holes right through the head. Right? So those are mounting holes. And so when this head gets put on whatever the fixture is, this flat surface on the back here is going to be mounted right to a big heavy steel plate, and there's going to be bolts going through this head, literally tying it down to hopefully a very heavy mechanism. Right? And so that mechanism is going to slide in and out, or maybe it's just mounted to a stable plate and the part itself is going to move in and out. Who knows, right? But the point is that the stability of this device is what's important. The run out of these spindles is incredible. Not made for side milling, but anything plunging, drilling, tapping, whatever that may be, reaming, even a cogsdill deburr, anything you want to do. But if this thing's vibrating all over the place, your tools are going to break. Your holes are not going to be accurate. All of that. So here's how you take a head like this and you make sure that it's stable. You mount it to something that is sturdy. And so this thing mounted, spinning, turning is going to provide a great service for the customer. Here you go. Here's the motor shaft. It's smaller than a 5/8 diameter. Of course, it's got the key. This is all hardened steel, by the way. And so you put that on with your set screw and your key. You pop that on. You get the spacing right. You maybe pull this in or out a little bit just to create a little bit of room on the end here, just so that it's not pressing in on the bearing of the head. And then this thing spins up to 4,000 RPM. Reverses, does anything you want to do. You process your holes. So if you have a need for a single or multiple spindle head device, give AutoDrill a call. We'd love to talk to you. AutoDrill.com. 800-871-5022, or if you want to dial a local number from anywhere in the world, it's +1 908 542-0244. One more thing. So here's something cool. If you see here, it's NLGI number 3, lithium grease inside. You have to grease this thing sparingly every 750 hours. So underneath this little cap here, you have a grease zert. So this thing's on a machine, it's running 24/7, it's pounding away, it's making tons of holes. You walk up to this thing with a grease gun, you click it on, you do about half a pull on that grease gun just to re-wet the gears. Why do you do that? Because when gears are spinning, they're slinging grease off. And when it's slinging the grease off, eventually they're going to get dry. And if you have dry gears, you don't have gears anymore. And so this thing has a void on the inside to collect all of the grease that's slung off. This thing will go for 15 or 20 years if it's taken care of properly, running 24/7. The only danger in these heads is the bearings. It's an uncontrollable quantity or quality, if you will. We buy the best bearings we can out of Japan or the United States, and we put them into these heads and make these things as reliable as we possibly can. But of course, we don't build bearings, we build heads, and so that's usually what goes. And you can tell, you'll hear a little wobble in there, and then you just open these cases up. You got some bolts on the front here and some alignment pins. You just open them up, pull the spindles out, change the bearings, put it back in, check the gears just to make sure your guy or gal in the shop grease this thing like they're supposed to. And we have folks out there running these things for almost 20 years with no maintenance. They're just banging out. So I sent an email to somebody over in the UK recently. They do some flooring products, and I said, how you doing? It's been over 10 years since I talked to this person, but because of COVID, I just wanted to check in on him. So I said, how you doing? And he said, man, we're doing great. We got that gearbox. You know, way back then, we bought the gearbox with a spare set of gears for the inside and some extra parts and stuff. You know, we've never used even a single part. And I said, well, That's fantastic. That means I don't get to sell you anything else. That's not good for me, but that's great for you. That's our goal. Absolutely dependable products. AutoDrill.com.